Welcome back to the baseline. And today, guys, oh man, what a week. If you are a baseball fan, a lot of crazy signings, a lot of shocking signings as well. And we're going to talk about some of them. And first one we're going to talk about, because I'm pretty sure everyone wants to know what my opinions on it and all this stuff. The big one was Kyle Tucker goes to the Los Angeles Dodgers on a 4-year, $250 million. So he'll be making $60 million a year. He does have opt-outs after years 2 and 3. So basically a 2-year deal. I mean, we've seen this before, how players get the opt-outs and they do opt out unless they have like a terrible season, which Kyle Tucker I don't think will. But let's go and talk about this for a minute. No, the Dodgers are not ruining baseball. They're not ruining baseball. They're doing what they can to win championships. And it pushes me back to, 2018, 2019, around that year. It brings me to that. And why do I bring that up? Well, because you had Boston, who said, listen, we can't afford Mookie Betts. And we're going to look at trades. We're going to look at things to go and get rid of him. And whoever wants to sign him long term, hey, you're more than likely to do that. You had 29 other teams who could have put a package deal for Mookie Betts. Because later in his career, like right now, he played shortstop, which would have been phenomenal for any team. I mean, yes, it took them 3 years or so to win a championship with Mookie Betts. And it took them another 4 years to win a championship. Same thing with Freddie Freeman. The Braves did not want him. We don't know why the Braves didn't want him. There was news rumors that we still don't know. They didn't offer Freeman a contract. They wanted Freddie Freeman to be a designated hitter, which to me probably says that, hey, you're too old. And if that's the case, then I'm pretty sure other organizations, other MLB teams, called the Atlanta Braves and say, hey, what's wrong with Freeman? And they probably said, well, we think he's too old, which pushes back. Because once you hear, oh, we think he's old, and you're with an organization for, 11, 12 years or so of his of his major league career, people are going to believe that more than they're going to believe the player. And yes, I get that right now they are filled with stars. But around the time they got Freeman, around the time they had Betts, they just took risk. Max Muncy was a risk. He was released by the Oakland Athletics. They took a risk. They took a risk on almost everybody, and it's been working for them. And yes, right now, it's frustrating if you're a fan of, like the Mets or the Phillies or basically any team in Major League Baseball. Yeah, it's frustrating. It 100% is frustrating, and I get it. But multiple aspects of this deal has come into play. They needed an outfielder. They got him. And also, here's my other thing. Am I really going to blame the Dodgers when from November 1st to 2-3 days before he signed, there was no news on him at all. We didn't even hear a contract offer 2 days. 2 days before he signed. That's when we finally heard a contract offer from the New York Mets, which was 4 years, $240. Otherwise, because I watch the MLB Network all the time, and I'm not saying that, hey, I'm the smart guy, but I heard the news and the rumors every day. They were asking about Kyle Tucker, or every week they were asking about Kyle Tucker, and it was the same thing for 2-3 months. He wants $300 million. He wants $400 million. He wants a long-term deal. He wants this. He wants that. That's all you heard. And as soon as we went into the new year, then you heard, he has an offer from Toronto. He has an offer from the Mets. There is an offer from the Dodgers, but we don't know that. And then he signed with the Dodgers. Again, can we blame the Dodgers when 29 other teams could have gone after him? The New York Yankees, for crying out loud, could have gone after him. You didn't. You didn't even offer him a contract. The Houston Astros, hey, here's a reunion. You didn't. The Boston Red Sox could have. Again, they didn't. The Phillies could have. They didn't. So, I can't blame the Dodgers for this. You really, really can't blame the Dodgers for this whole thing. They created a winning culture. They won back-to-back championships. And players want to play for them. Again, is that their fault? They're doing what everyone else is doing, which is build a team for championship and win a championship. Create history. We haven't seen a three-peat basically since I was 2. That's the last time, since I was 2 years old. That's the last time we saw a team win 3 in a row. The 98, 99, and 2000 New York Yankees. That was the last time we saw a three-peat. I would like to see a three-peat. Why? Because it'd be awesome. But also, I like this move because then you have other teams around them that are going to try to dethrone the Dodgers. And before you go on and keep saying, well, Jordan, they keep getting everybody and this and this, and they're gonna be unstoppable. No, they're not. They could be beaten. And 3 scenarios in the last 2 years have crossed my mind. I've had plenty of time to think about this. 2024. The San Diego Padres had them in Game 5. The batting, for whatever reason, of the San Diego Padres did not show up. When the Dodgers pitched a bullpen game. They pitched a bullpen game, and the San Diego Padres couldn't have gotten done. last year in the division series, if the guy, and sorry for my Philly fans, Al, cover your ears, if the pitcher threw the ball to first base, they were forced a Game 5 and all bets are off. All bets are off for Game 5. Because we don't know what's going to happen. The Phillies woke up. They would have forced a Game 5. They would have won. They could have won. We don't know. Right? That's the thing in baseball. We don't know. So they might have been able to advance the Phillies. But the ball got away, 2 runs scored, the Dodgers advanced. We could have seen a Game 5 if we really wanted to. If things played out the right way. And in the World Series, everyone said, Dodgers in 5. The Blue Jays pushed them to their limits. The hitting for the Dodgers was not there. They were 2 outs away from being eliminated. Jeff Hoffman threw a mistake pitch. They tie the game. They go to extras. Shane Bieber throws a mistake pitch. Will Smith hits the ball for the Dodgers to win. And Yamamoto is just a beast. And, he closed out the game. And it's not like so there's so many. Before I continue, before I want to go out, move on. There were so many opportunities to dethrone the Dodgers, and it didn't happen. So this team is beatable. In the playoffs, in a short series, anything can happen. So in my mind, like I said, I don't think the Dodgers are ruining baseball. I think they're just smarter than every other team. And it's not like last year. They made 2 moves this year. Diaz and Tucker. Oh, wow. And also, guys, age plays a part of this. Mookie Betts was not Mookie Betts last year. Freddie Freeman, from what I've heard, I've done research on this, still being bothered by foot problems. That same foot problem that was bothering him in the 24 postseason. He still has that problem. This team is older. I think, 3 guys are under the age of 30 that are at least in the starting lineup. Will Smith, Andy Pages, and now Kyle Tucker. Everyone else is 30 and above. Maybe Ohtani. I think Ohtani's reaching 30. But anyway, this is also an older club. We always keep saying these things, but they're doing exactly what they need to do to win. This was around the time what the Yankees were doing with George. They kept winning. And I know I hear fans, well, technically the Yankees had homegrown guys. They had 5. Bernie Williams, Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, Andy Pettitte, Jorge Posada. Otherwise, Tino Martinez wasn't homegrown. Chuck Knobloch wasn't homegrown. Tino wasn't homegrown. Paul O'Neill wasn't homegrown. David Wells, Roger Clemens, David Cohn. These guys weren't homegrown. In 2000, in the 80s and in the 70s, again, Reggie Jackson, Dave Winfield, Catfish Hunter. It goes on, and it happens. And I understand that, yes, you have some teams who have won, a la the Houston Astros, on a thing where they were homegrown guys. Correa, Altuve, Bregman, Tucker. Those guys were homegrown, but it was 4. Otherwise, they've gotten some steals off of this, which was, again, Yordan Alvarez, Justin Verlander. I mean, every ball club does it. Look at the Chicago Cubs, who, the 6 years ago, or 10 years ago, sorry, they won the championship. But they did it with homegrown talent? No. No, they didn't. I think the only homegrown talent was what? Bryant, Javier Baez, and what? And Schwarber. Rizzo wasn't homegrown. John Lester was a homegrown. John Lackey was a homegrown. Like, yes, I understand, but I'm just saying that people say, oh, well, they don't have homegrown talent. They're taking stars from other teams to win championships. Every team has done that. The Yankees, the Cubs, the Red Sox, whoever you have. Any team took a guy from someone else who's already a star. Now, as much as was like a salary cap, I don't want that because I think that's just going to, the players should get played. If you think a player should get this amount, then they should. Me personally, that's why I think that's why the players are not as fine with it, because they know that they should be getting paid. There is a rumor about a salary floor. Now, I looked this up. You're probably thinking, what is a salary floor? Well, a salary floor is basically MLB's got to go on and be like, okay, here's the limit, throwing a number, $170 million. And that's what every team has to spend. They have to spend $170 million. Whatever it is. Major signing, minor signings, whatever. I think I like that more because then it gets the chance for these small market teams to actually spend money and try to win. Like the Pittsburgh Pirates, like the Athletics, like the Rockies, Marlins, Cardinals, Guardians. It forces them to do something. And I think that's why the Dodgers are doing what they're doing now, because they know we have, 7, 8 teams that we can compete with. We don't have 29 teams. For example, the Pittsburgh Pirates gave the first multi-year deal to Ryan O'Hearn. Who was the player? The first multi-year deal in over 10 years. That should tell you something about this game. And they haven't given a batter a multi-year deal in 10 years. The highest paid player in that franchise was Francisco Liriano. Remember him? That's the highest player. The White Sox, their highest player was Andrew Benintendi when he was a free agent. Like, these small market teams I don't think they're trying. And that's why the Dodgers are doing what they're doing. Like last year with Yamamoto. The Yankees didn't want to pay him that much money or give him opt-outs because they were afraid they were going to offend Garrett Cole. Who cares? I like Garrett Cole. He's a good Hall of Famer. But look at what Yamamoto has done. He's proven this. The Atlanta Braves, I just found this out from YouTube. One of the guys on YouTube. The Braves are actually, you could go look at what money they're spending. You could buy stock on the Atlanta Braves, apparently, which is insane to think about. And you could see how much they spend in money. They spend more on, like, public stuff than they do their own baseball team. Like, I think they spend $100,000 on condos than they'd have putting money into the baseball team. Again, does that not, like, you're looking at all this stuff, and I can't blame the Dodgers because no team is spending. That's just my thought. That's my thought process. I'm going to stop because we got more news to talk about, but I had to get that off my chest. It's insane how many people think the Dodgers are running baseball when they're playing by the rules by everybody else. The other big move is once Kyle Tucker went, Bo Bichette goes to the Mets on a 3-year deal. I think it was like $125 million, I believe. And he's going to play third base. Look, do like this move. I know he's going to play out of position, but he is going to help out the Mets. He's got a hit. He's a great defender. He proved he could play somewhere else. He was playing second base on a bad knee. But compared to before they signed Bo Bichette, that lineup's starting to look a little bit better. So we're going to see how this works. I think, Beatty now is going to be, and Acuna are going to be like utility guys, which, hey, is fine by me. Vientos could probably play first while you have Jorge Polanco as the DH. Great. I like that because Vientos actually has played first base. I think they just need starting pitching now. Go after a starting pitcher. I'm looking at Framber Valdez. Like I said, I like Bo Bichette. Bat him second instead of Soto second. Old school. You have Lindor, Bichette, Juan Soto, because both Lindor and Bichette could hit. And they could run. Bichette is young. He's 27, 28 years old, I believe. So he's going to win. Or he's going to hit. He's going to run. I like this deal a lot for the New York Mets. They do now have some leverage again in their lineup. And like I said, now you just got to add that pitching. I like Nolan McLean. I think Sean Manaea might actually probably be having a good year again, I believe. So now let's see what other moves. They could probably be on Bellinger now. They still have a hole in left field from Brendan Nimmo. Maybe they could get on Bellinger and maybe add a starting pitcher. Maybe sneak into the Freddie Peralta deal and maybe try to trade for him. I think you need at least two free agents, and the Mets could probably compete again. Maybe, but I think I do like this Bichette move. Reminds me a lot of A-Rod when he went from shortstop to third. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm actually kind of curious. Ranger Suarez sign with the Red Sox on a 5-year deal. Again, I like this move. I seem like all the moves have been starting pitching, which is weird. But hey, I like this move. He's a great lefty. It's going to help out a lot with Crochet, Gray, and him. Again, I think they need to add a batter or two. But they seem to focus more on pitching. But if your offense can't hit, that's going to be a problem. But listen, I like Suarez. I think he's really great. He was great with the Phillies. This postseason, he has an ERA under 2, which is insane. But hey, that's what they're playing for, is to go on a postseason run. They need to replace Bregman's bat. Maybe you get Eugenio Suarez to play third base. I'm like really curious to see what they do at third base. Add more batters, at least 1 or 2, either via trade or free agency. But like I said, I like the Suarez move. It's gonna be great, especially if you have him and Crochet back to back. Oh man, that's gonna be devastating for AL opponents. But he signs a 5-year deal. He goes to Boston. The other shocking move that shocked me was the Arizona Diamondbacks traded for Nolan Arenado. So he's gonna be the third baseman now. I like this move because on the top of your order you have Perdomo and Corbin Carroll, 2 of the fastest guys on the team. They're going to give more RBIs for Arenado. He's back in the NL West where his numbers are fantastic. He's familiar with all the ball clubs. He's not going to be the guy. He's going to be at least third if we're counting pitchers, fourth if we're counting pitchers, third if we're counting, or fourth counting batters, because you also have Ketel Marte. So you have 3 guys. If the lineup goes like that, you have 3 guys that are fast. And I just think this is a good move because like I said, he is familiar with the NL West. He's not giving up. Still one of the great defenders at third. I think still one of the greatest third basemen right now. And yeah, he's got 2 more years on this contract. I like to see how this does. It's gonna be exciting. I think they need more pitching. Zach Gallen's out there, so we'll see if they get him. But I like it. I do. Especially if they get Corbin Burns back. I think they're a contender this year. It reminds me of like the Evan Longoria deal. Veteran helping out the young guys and teaching them what's wrong and what's going on with the team. I know that's what Longoria did. He helped out these batters, and they played phenomenal. I think it'll be the same thing with Nolan Arenado, and it gives them new life because this is a team that's trying to win, and I think that does affect a player a lot. It does. You gotta, if you're in a winning culture and you're looking to win, then I think players will play well, and I think that's what the Diamondbacks are doing. They haven't won since 2001. I think they want to bring that back. Again, a team that wants to dethrone the Dodgers. And if everything goes right for them, no injuries, no nothing, I think they got a shot to make a run in the postseason. I think that's it. Oh no, Ryan Weathers goes to the Yankees, so the Yankees do get another starting pitcher. Again, with the injuries of Rondon and Cole. Ryan Weathers, young kid, stuff is very nasty. Another left-hander that's, hey, take a shot. This kid is, like I said, he is young, he is talented, he's got some really nasty stuff. Like, I've seen stuff go from his hand and immediately curve, and, his stuff is filthy, which I think the Yankees need. I'm just thinking myself, does this mean Hill or Warren are out? Maybe they go on to a trade, because you're not getting rid of Schlitzler. You're not going to get rid of Schmidt unless one of them go into the bullpen. Kind of doing what the Dodgers did last year. You have like 6, 7, 8 starting pitchers now. It's going to help you out. My thing is that where's the protection for Judge? But, I talk about that a lot on this pod. I don't think if you don't get Bellinger back, you have all the pitching you want. But when one guy's going to hit in the lineup, that's not going to do anything. But yeah, that was the crazy week that we have. Also, my thoughts on the Dodgers and what's going on with baseball. Let me know what you guys think. How do you feel about all this? Again, the Dodgers. If you're a fan of any of the teams that I mentioned, how do you feel about those teams and their moves? But yeah, let me know. And I just want to thank you guys for the viewerships on our last video. They went up, so thank you guys so much. And they've also hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this content here. And I will see you all in the next one.